Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all week 2 of the Nacho Gold Digger League. I apologize if I sound a little bit quiet right now, it's because I'm recording this at late at night, because I didn't have any other time during the day to do this, so, and not to mention, everything was very loud earlier, and I didn't want to have to record with a lot of noise in the background, so yeah, I apologize for that. So I'm going to be sounding a little bit quiet this time around, but yeah, like I said, this is going to be week 2 of the Nacho Gold Digger League for season 2. My opponent for this week is going to be Sylmar and the East End Gogoats, I think was the team name, I don't remember, but yeah, so what I brought this time for Sylmar here was a team kind of similar to the one that I brought against Fulham. I think the only difference now is that instead of instead of instead of Dragonite, I have a Sharpedo this time, and I forgot what I used, but I don't remember bringing Hitmontop for week 2. I think, oh yeah, it was instead of Pangoro, I got Hitmontop, because I definitely wanted to at least have a hazard remover this time around, because before I didn't have one, and I had to rely on a lot of taunt users, so to kind of prevent any hazards coming from Fulham last week. So this time around, I decided to bring Hitmontop, not to mention because he has a Tentacruel and he has a Stunfisk. I was afraid of him just being able to set up hazards and me not being able to remove hazards, especially toxic spikes. I definitely felt like I needed to bring Hitmontop this time around, but everything else is pretty much the same because I felt like it would work, in all honesty. So yeah, like I didn't have, in all honesty, I didn't really have problems team building with his for his draft, basically. Unlike with Fulham I had problems to team building for his draft, but for Sylmar I didn't really feel like I had any problems, in all honesty. So yeah, so this is gonna be the battle. Again, it was a pretty close battle. That I thought it was a pretty good one, and regardless if it was a good one or not, I was still gonna showcase this anyways, because I mean, it's a league battle. It's not a Wi-Fi battle. If it was a Wi-Fi battle, if I got 7-0 or some shit, I would have been hysterical. But anyways, all that aside, I'm gonna lead off with Healerlisk. He leads with Stunfisk, which is kind of a lead I was afraid of, but this is why I packed Toxic on this thing, because I wanted to see if he'd try to Volt Switch here, so I went for Toxic, because I know that this thing is a ground type, so he could try to go for like Earthquake or Earth Power. I don't know what ground type moves it gets, but I know it gets ground type moves, so I went for Toxic, because these things are also relatively bulky for some reason. Not as bulky, but they are bulky nonetheless, and I don't think my Healerlisk can just one-shot it, so I definitely decided to go for Toxic just to wither it down very quick. And right out of the gate, I wasn't expecting Stealth Rocks on this thing, in all honesty, so I was like, oh. But then again, I never see Stunfisk, so I didn't expect it to have Stealth Rocks. Now, even more annoying here now is that as I go into Credilli, he goes for Yawn, which is really annoying because this actually limits my options, and I'm literally guaranteed to sleep, to have one of my Pokemon asleep somehow. And because he got his Rock Slip, I can't just keep switching out, because if I keep switching out, he'll just, you know, I'll take Stealth Rocks on every switching that I have, and that's just going to be a real pain in the rear end, so I definitely decided not to do that. Here, what I decided to do now is, after getting my Stealth Rocks up, I decided to just burn turns of sleep as usual, because he does bring in Tentacruel, and I definitely know he's going to want to stay in to get the Rapid Spin off so that my rocks are not on the field. So I just stay in and keep burning more turns of sleep. Annoyingly enough, a lot of these freaking turns of sleep end up maxing out. Like, I keep getting more turns of sleep. Like, this is one of the most annoying things ever, in all honesty, is that I keep freaking taking more turns of sleep. Like, every time I get put to sleep, I never seem to wake up at least the first 2 dang turns of the freaking sleeping. It's like I'm super unlucky with these sleeping turns, honestly. Although here it doesn't really affect me, other than it just wastes a lot of time. It's just dragging out the battle in most cases. Because here, what I wanted to do after waking up first turn was just get the rocks back up, switch out into Hitmontop to try to scare him out, to in the fact that I can Rapid Spin, because I know he has a Mimikyu and he might want to try to bring that. So I was planning to actually try to scare his Tentacruel away and force him to bring his Mimikyu. You're gonna see why in a bit. But here, I finally wake up, and because he went for Acid Spray multiple times, I went for Recover here, thinking he'll probably want to go for another Acid Spray. But he kept going for knockoffs here, and I was like, oh, I wonder why. But what I do now that I finally wakes up after 4 freaking turns, how do you like that? I get my rocks back up, and I'm definitely going to do what I said I was going to do earlier, and switch into Hitmontop. This was just so that because I knew he wasn't going to go for like a Scald or anything like that. and if he goes for it afterwards, I'll at least get rid of his rocks as well, which was my plan in the first place. And what he's gonna do here is basically go for rapid spin. Now here, I am certain he's gonna think that I'm gonna wanna go for rapid spin myself, because he knows that I don't want these rocks right now. So what I'm gonna do here is go for the toxic as he switches in Mimikyu, which was what I predicted. So I'm gonna go for toxic right here. Unfortunately, I freaking missed that toxic. It was kind of annoying at first, but this is gonna prove to be a really huge deal later. So I go for bullet punch here, because since I couldn't get the toxic off, I at least wanted to break the disguise. And this thing does go for play rough, and unfortunately I wasn't able to take this damn play rough for 2 reasons. First of all, because it was a crit, and second of all, even if it wasn't a crit, this Hitmontop was actually the wrong Hitmontop. Like, I didn't bring the right one. My Hitmontop was actually supposed to be a defensive one, and when I looked at my team, it was actually an adamant one, and it didn't even have defense investment like I thought I put it. It had it on the Spadef, which was like, oh, like I really blew that, honestly, right there. So while the toxic miss did matter a lot, losing Hitmontop because I didn't bring the right one was really a pain in the rear end, actually, because I honestly thought I was gonna take it, and I would have been able to get some chip on the freaking Mimikyu at least, if I lived the play rough, which I think I could have, because I did some calcs, and defensive Hitmontop does take a play rough. I even calced it, so that's why I was planning that set, but I didn't bring it because I don't know. I guess I picked the wrong one, but you know me. That's a habit of mine, not looking at my teams very properly. So he brings Stunfix again, and I think I went for rocks here. But annoyingly enough, he's going to go for more Yawns and put my Credilli to sleep, and this is going to be super annoying because I'm not going to be able to have the opportunity to wake up very easily. In fact, at this point, this Credilli is set up fodder for Mimikyu. However, instead what he's going to do is actually go into this thing. Oh my god, and I was super afraid that this thing was going to be what I thought it was going to be for. To either set up Calm Minds in my face, or just set up a substitute. So I go into Electrode, and in retrospect, this was kind of a mistake, because I was anticipating a setup move, whether it be a substitute setup or a Calm Mind setup. But what happened here was that I completely forgot that this Electrode doesn't have max speed, because I think Electrode does have the same speed as Mega Alakazam, but the problem was that I didn't invest all the speed for Electrode because I wanted to invest some HP on it to take hits a little bit better, kind of like right here. I am able to survive this Psychic, which I otherwise wouldn't have. But the problem here is that now I lose Electrode because of the Life Orb. So what I'm going to do here now is go into Heliolisk. Like, I think Heliolisk was supposed to be the switch in before Electrode, in all honesty, but I guess I was afraid of losing Heliolisk, because Heliolisk is kind of useful in the sense that I can actually use that for against Mimikyu. He cannot go for Ghost type moves on my Heliolisk, because Heliolisk is also a normal type. So I go for Thunderbolts right here just to get as much chip on this Alakazam as possible. This would allow me to bring a Sharpedo in without having to worry about this thing going for freaking Protect. Without this thing having to go for Substitute if I go for Protect, is what I want to say. So I do get the Para, which I guess matters in the sense that this Heliolisk would have either been gone or have taken too much damage. But honestly, I wasn't really needing the Heliolisk. I just needed it to Thunderbolt because right now at this point I was put in a very huge predicament in the sense that the Mimic is still around, but I do think my Sharpedo can actually take it out if I get rid of his Alakazam, because Sharpedo, I don't need to get any speed boost if I get rid of his Mega Alakazam. So unless anything else on his team is Scarfed, my Sharpedo has no problem just Mega Evolving instantly. So what I did here was just spam Thunderbolt. I KO'd his Alakazam thanks to the paralysis with Heliolisk, and then he brings in Tentacruel. Just the Rapid Spin, which was the super annoying thing, was that he'd get rid of my rocks. He brought it in just to go for Rapid Spin, and I knew this, but I didn't want to just switch out on the off chance he tries to go for Scald or something, even though he knows he can't because it's a Heliolisk, and I already know he doesn't have Ice Beam or anything like that. So yeah, and then after taking out his Tentacruel, he goes into Entei, and as you can see here, he actually goes for the Continental Crush as I switch out into Credilli, fearing an Extreme Speed. And this, not gonna lie, this Z Stone Edge doesn't even do as much as I expected it, in all honesty. but this Sacred Fire definitely is. And of course, because I couldn't burn enough turns of sleep because this guy was hyper offensive most of the time, I'm gonna lose credibility to this Entei, which is unfortunate. So here I think this is when I decided to bring in Heliolisk. The reason why was because I did wanted to what I wanted to do here was glare it, because this is the thing, he goes for extreme speed. This is where the paralysis on Alakazam might have mattered, because if he did not get paralyzed, this Heliolisk would have not been able to survive this extreme speed. But what I wanted to do here was go for glare, because yeah, I do pack glare on this thing, because I have Volcanion on my team, and if I can paralyze something that's normally faster than Volcanion, I can actually get away without speeding and hitting something really hard. This was the perfect opportunity for me to go for glare and just send out Volcanion and go for a Steam Eruption. There's literally nothing he can do here. He tried to go for extreme speed here to get as much damage on my Volcanion as possible. He got paralyzed, but again, I don't think that mattered, because I think even with the combination of Shadow Sneak, it wouldn't have been able to KO my Volcanion. Hell, I don't even think a Shadow Claw would have done it, in all honesty. So it would have had to have done more damage. But here, I don't know if this was a misplay, in all honesty. I don't think it was. But he brings back Mimikyu, and I was like thinking, okay, I don't want this Volcanion to take a Shadow Claw, so I'm going to hard switch into Sharpedo, expecting that. He actually goes for the Swords Dance as I switch in Sharpedo. I wasn't expecting the Swords Dance. I was honestly expecting the Shadow Claw, which Sharpedo resists, so that's why I went into Sharpedo. And like I said, with the Alakazam gone, I don't have no problems just Mega Evolving instantly with Sharpedo here. So I'm going to go for the Crunch, and I was certain I'd be able to take it out, especially after a crit, but not really, because as you can see, it had a freaking Focus Sash, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to land that Toxic with Hitmontop, because I wanted to know if it was going to be a Sash one, or was it going to be a Lumberry one, because it's usually one or the other with Mimikyus, but unfortunately it was the freaking Focus Sash, which, now that I see that, I was super angry, not going to lie, because honestly, I only needed to land that Toxic, and it obviously missed. Like, I literally just had a hunch that it was going to miss, and it actually missed. And because of that, now I actually just lose, because Sharpedo couldn't KO the Mimikyu, and freaking Mimikyu never misses a freaking Play Rough while I miss Toxics, which is super annoying. And then I send in Volcanion, which thanks to the rocks, I now take under half. He's already at +2, so Shadow Claw just straight up takes out my Volcanion as well. So yeah, that was actually kind of annoying. It's annoying that one bit of hacks actually costed me the battle, because if I got that Toxic off, it would have not had its Focus Sash. And like, even if he got rid of the rocks with Tentacruel, my Sharpedo would have been able to take out the Mimikyu, especially after that crit. But I'm pretty sure even without the crit, I would have been able to take it out, because it's a crunch from Sharpedo with Strong Jaw, so it's stab and whatnot, high power and whatnot. So it was definitely gonna KO, but I wasn't able to take it out because of the Focus Sash. But oh well, what are you gonna do? So we're gonna lose week 2 of the Natural Gold Digger League as well, which is really annoying. Like, I'm now losing all these battles, which is like I said, I didn't want, I'm not even gonna go into that. Thank you for watching the battle. Good game to Ghostmer for winning week 2 of the Natural Gold Digger League. Hopefully we do better in week 3 or something. But yeah, thank you for watching once again. And like I said, I'm sorry if I sound too quiet right now. It's just that, like I said, I don't want to be making too much noise. But thank you for watching nonetheless. I'll catch you guys for week 3, I think it is. Yeah, week 3, where we're gonna be facing. You'll find out when we get to it. But for now, just take it easy.